Happy Sabbath. I'm so humbled to be here. This is my second last Sabbath to be in the US, away from my family. I arrived in the US some 1.5 months ago, and that was in Tyler. I arrived through New York, and I've been around, I've been moving up and down. I've been in like 4 or 5 states. From Tyler, I went to visit my brother Patrick Haynes in Memphis, Tennessee. I passed through Mississippi. I saw the bridge that I've never seen. I took photos there. I was in Tyler. I preached in Tyler, Texarkana, Big Sandy. Came to Ohio, Atlanta, and last week I traveled to Minnesota. Due to time change in America, I was messed up completely. I missed my flight. I had to take a taxi, and guess what? The meter was counting, and I didn't like that when I took a taxi to Rochester. That also messed up my day. When I was supposed to come here, I tried to look at the Greyhound. I discovered that it is another, it wasn't possible. I talked with Hub and I told him I don't think whether I'll make it there. Because I had to do something on a Thursday. We are working with some team and we are trying to establish some cell groups in Minnesota where we have many Kenyans. You know, it's like a Kenyan, place again in Minnesota. People speak my mother tongue. In Mayo Clinic alone, we have over 70 people working in Mayo Clinic. So when we had just decided that instead of me coming here, I can do a recording program with Mike James so that you guys can present it, and I was so happy about that, and I said, okay, if that's God's wish, I will do that. Then after a short while, I see some other communication that it has changed again and we want to fly you here. Then I was like, what again this? Because, I'd already settled on, okay, I'll not travel. Then Anika was on my neck all the time. She would send a message, and of course she had already invited me for dinner. And I was like, okay, let's see. Then after that, I postponed coming, and I was like, okay. Then she started calling me, and okay. Then all worked out, and today I'm here. I've been listening since morning. Okay, was it morning or still in the afternoon? And the memorial, what you've been talking about, our sisters who passed away, our brother, and it brought a lot of memories back to me. Some of us are quite emotional when we hear about some of these stories. And I don't like really listening to them a lot. But they created a way that I was like, okay, I wish I saw these 2 ladies. But through the stories that I had, it's like I could imagine how they were. I could imagine how you guys miss them. I could imagine how our brother Eugene, did you call him Eugene? Eugenia, but that is life. And then he had a good sermon. I listened to it keenly. We are all going back home soon. Soon and very soon we are going to see our King. And that has been my prayer all through. And today, as I was listening, and my dream was to meet Bronson. When I first preached in Tyler, he looked for my phone. Of course, I don't have an American phone. I'm still Kenyan. So I still use my Kenyan phone, but wherever I am, people actually know and they have to communicate with my host. So he communicated with Diane. Diane is a wonderful lady, Diane Webb, with the husband. I call them the Webbs. This gentleman, I always talk about him because he's a veteran and he was in the Vietnam War. Something just happened. And the tank I was operating was blown and his face was badly damaged. He's totally blind. But he can do better than people who have their two eyes. He would wake up very early in the morning just to make sure that I have coffee. He would ask me, what do you want me to do for you? Do you want me to do for you laundry or what? And I go back home with Mike Webb in my heart. I have a special relationship with that family because Diane Webb is over 80 years of age. She would drive me all the way from Avenger, that is in Texas, all the way through Memphis, to Tennessee, and back again for over 10 hours. I can't drive that long. She's a very special lady. She's been to my country twice. She has a heart to support children. She's paying school fees for 43 high school students. Last year, towards the end, we had 14 more, so she had to pay for 57. And she has a big heart. But unfortunately, the 43 I'm talking about go to 22 different schools. And their performance isn't good because it is 70-to-1 ratio. 70 students in a class, 1 teacher. So their performance isn't good. Because of their background, most of them are orphans, total orphans. They are not allowed to worship on Sabbath. They do not attend feasts because the schools do not understand anything about the feasts. We have made up our mind that we are going to do our own school. We may not be having that money, but we are going to do our own school where our students will have the freedom to worship, freedom to keep the feasts. Because that is why we're here, to praise our God. Amen. As I'll be going back home, I have 2 ladies that will be traveling with. Diane Webb and Linda Benton. They said that we must go back home with them to check on this project. But before we had made up our mind, we had a snag. And the snag was, you must have a COVID-19 vaccine before entering Kenya. From anywhere in the world, you must have that. And some of them, because of their age and conditions, they cannot be vaccinated because of their age and conditions. I told them God is going to open the way. A week ago, all rules were relaxed in Kenya. Just a week ago, including COVID vaccine. But you must have the tests to test negative. So we will be going with them back home. I just wanted to share with you, and please be praying with us, because we have many, many orphans back there who need such help, and they can't get anybody to help them. I am a married man. I have my one wife. Back in my country, the wife that you marry is the wife that you will die with. I don't know whether you understand what I'm talking about. It is my wife and my wife to death. Issues of divorce is not in my country. So it is that wife and that. So until, if something just happens and one of us dies, then one of us will be free. But of course, my country also does not allow culturally for a lady to be married because of bride price. Because the bride price means she becomes your possession and the possession of your community. So if a husband dies, in still some of the cultures, not all of them, then you'll be inherited by somebody. But for men, immediately when your wife dies, even after the grave has not, you'll marry them. You're allowed to marry. So we live in a patriarchal society. So I am married with one wife, Jacqueline. I have 4 children, Kevin, Dolphin, Vivian, and Naomi. They are all grown-ups. My last-born daughter is sitting for her final examination. That is grade 12. In my country, we call it Form 4, before she joins university. So that is my family. My dad is 86. He's suffering from cancer. He's under, did you call it radio or whatever? The burning thing. He's under that process, radiology. My mom is 80, chemo. My mom is 82. She can't walk because of one, arthritis and other things. But that's the nature. So that's my family. I want to say this because my sermon today is like you guys have already preempted what I wanted to say. And because you've preempted, the best thing is to pray and go and sit down. But because I don't want to go home, you guys hammering me, I'll use the shortest time possible. All along as I've been traveling and preaching, the first thing I would be told, this is America. Americans keep time. In Africa, all the time is ours. In Africa, all the time is ours. We spend time the way we want it. So I've been very, very careful. Thank you so much for telling me to take my time. But my background is I was also a school teacher, high school teacher. So I read the moods of the house. Yeah. My subject is we are a family. We are a family. And if somebody tells you that we are not a family, he's not of this flock. But we are a family. I've been listening carefully and keenly. I use British English. But I could also understand what you guys are talking about. Because our colonizers, pushed this English into us. So there are times, my pronunciation will not be really the same as you guys here. But I'll try to speak as slowly as possible just to ensure that we understand one another. 6,000 years ago, in the Garden of Eden, during the creation week, I see God having created all the creation, whatever he wanted to create. And he has finished everything. There was a debate. And this debate was about creation. How do we finish just like that? And I want us to go into our Bibles and read Genesis 1, verse 26. After the debate, then God said. When somebody says, then God said, that means they were discussing something and they had now come up with a resolution. And the resolution is this: let us make man in our image, in our likeness. Let them rule over fish. I don't want to continue down, but what I want us to understand is, in the conclusion of everything, let us make man in our own image, according to our likeness. And do you know, God decided to change his creation modality, how he was doing it, because all along he would say and things would happen. But for this one, it was different. He said, let us make. Which means he was not alone. There was a discussion. But when it came to the making, he was the one who did what? Who made man. What did he do? Verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. I don't know whether you understand the reason why in that verse they had to qualify something. And what they qualified was, in the second bit, man, male and female, he created them. When he was beginning, what the scripture says, God created man in his own image. Then as he finishes, he says, male and female, he created them. So man should not think that he is above. He is much more superior than the helpmate, because both of them, it is God who created them using his own hands. How did it go about? This is what happened. God undertook the first ever operation or surgery to be done in the world. He is the very first person to use anesthesia. And you know what he did? This gentleman that he had made called Adam slept. And he operated on him. Not from the head, not from the leg, but from one of his ribs. He removed one of his ribs. He created Eve, finished. Then Adam became conscious. After finishing the creation of Eve, making of Eve, that is when Adam regained. And God brought, listen carefully, God himself was the one who brought Eve. Then the first thing when Adam gained his conscience, he saw a flower. He saw something like he had never seen before. And this is what Adam said. In verse, I want to read this and you'll be surprised. That is 2 verse 23. This is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. Who is saying this? Adam. How did he know that this was bone of his bones? How did he know that this was flesh of his flesh? God conducted the first wedding ceremony in the Garden of Eden. But before he had created that, officiated over this wedding, he ensured that this man desired and realized that he was empty without a helpmate. How did he do this? God gave Adam an assignment. And the first assignment, go and call all the creation names. He called all of them. But at the end of it, he realized he did not have any match of him. He did not have any sweet. Then he realized, wow, I was naming a giraffe and a he giraffe and a she giraffe. He a zebra and a he rhino and a she. But what about me? I'm alone.
Come on, brother. Speak.
That is when God decided to operate on him. And immediately when Eve was brought, it was like, wow. I remember Hub telling me that he would drive all the way to somewhere, I don't know how many kilometers, how many miles. In Kenya, we use kilometers. Just to go and see Anika. And I'm not sure whether you would even see whether that was very far away. Because he lacked something. And that is the thing that he wanted. And he would drive, even if it was driving to Kenya, he would have done it. Just to meet Anika. I'm looking at this because God was establishing the first family. God was establishing the first family. And what he told Adam and Eve, be fruitful and multiply. And that was the first family. What a wonderful family. After a very short while, Adam and Eve had their first child, then second child, then we had our first children who are called Cain and Abel. The devil was not happy. The devil was not happy. Even before that, before Adam, Abel, and Cain had come, the devil was not happy. And do you know what happened? The devil was there during the wedding ceremony. The devil was there. And the devil was listening. And the devil was envious. The devil crept in through Eve. The devil did not approach Adam, because the devil probably knew that if I approach Adam, I will not succeed. Let me approach Eve. Probably I may succeed in deceiving, because the devil had vowed in Revelation 12, verse 9, he said that I will deceive the whole world after having been ejected from heaven. He said he will deceive the whole world. And now he was on duty. He listened to the instructions that God gave Adam carefully, because he was there. Then he decided not to use Adam. He decided to use Eve. And listen to the approach in Genesis 3 verse 1. Going down. Did God, listen to this, did God tell you not to eat all the fruits in the garden? I used to be in the medical profession. And in the medical profession, you don't ask a lady whether she's pregnant or not. She will not answer you. Or she may not answer you. So the approach is, how old is your pregnancy? In which trimester or whatever, you know? Then she'll tell you, I'm not. Then she'll correct it. You start from the reverse. It's like you already know, and you still don't know because you want to know. And that is exactly what the devil said. Did God tell you this? Then the lady said, and added her own things, and she said, no, we can eat all the fruits, but the one at the middle, we are not even supposed to do what? To touch it. God didn't say that. Then at the end of the day, something happened. She said, we shall die, surely die if we do that. The devil told Eve, you'll become wise. I just want to summarize that. You'll know good and bad, and and you know what he said? You shall not surely die. And our eyes, I'm telling you, our eyes have made us sin 100 times. People who don't see are more privileged than us. Then Eve saw that the fruit was good. We should eat. And do you know what? She took it and ate it, just to make the story short, and gave to the husband who was next to him. I am not sure, because we are not told the reaction of Adam. Because what we are told, at the end of the day, Adam took and ate the fruit. We are not sure whether he asked, where did you get that fruit? From which tree? And if that may have happened, then probably Eve may have said that if you love me, you must eat this. And Adam was like, I love you. Let me just eat. And that happened. And you know what? When Eve ate the fruit, nothing happened. But immediately Adam ate the fruit, they realized they were naked. And they started, after a very short while, you know what happened? They had God. Adam, where are you? And nobody wanted to accept his mistake or responsibility. And that is where everything went apart. The first family was already broken. The first family was already done away with. The devil had won in his first battle. These guys started running and looking for fig. They were trying to dress themselves. God came to their rescue again. And he said, okay, I'll try to dress you up, you guys. And he did that. Our family was destroyed. The second family is now, okay, let's go to Cain and Abel. What happened? These two boys, one was righteous, was doing the right offering. The other one was crooked. And he had been warned several times. Envy went into him because his offering was not accepted. What happened? He planned and killed his brother. Because he wasn't happy. Because his brother's offerings had been accepted. How many of you are not happy when somebody succeeds? Because of your own mistakes. Many of us are envious. People don't want to see others succeed. He killed his brother. Sin builds on another sin. God had and asked Cain, where is your brother? Again, Cain says, am I my brother's keeper? And is responding to God. Sin builds on another sin. Our first family was completely shattered. Completely gone. God looked at Adam and Eve and he grieved with them. He decided to give them another son by the name Seth to replace Abel. Seth, if you look at the generation from Seth, come down to Enos. From Enos we have who? Mahalalel. From Mahalalel we have who? Jared. From Jared we have who? Lamech. Then from Lamech we have who? Nuh. Another family that again, because you know what happened? when these generations down the line to Lamech and Noah, God regretted why he created man. The very first time God regretted creating man. And he vowed to destroy man completely from the face of the world. He used Noah. And he told him to go and build the ark, which he did. And there were very many people who supported him to build the ark. Very many people supported him. Eventually, they were not there. How many people supported building this church, making sure that this church stands? How many people sang precious songs, but they are no longer with us here? How many people started with Herbert Armstrong? How many people started long ago, but they are no longer there because they got tired on the way? Noah told people, come on, let's build this ark. There will be rain. These guys had never seen rain. And they said, you are mad. At times, to be a preacher, you must be mad. You must do things that normal people don't do to be accepted. People called Noah several names. Noah built the ark. The day came when 2 by 2 entered the ark. Animals, everything entered the ark. And lastly, Noah, his wife, and his 3 sons and their wives, a total of 8, entered the ark. And that is the family. And there was rain for 150 days, which started on the 17th of the second month to the 17th of the, is it 9th month or 10th month? Because it was five months. Everything had been wiped away from the face of the world. Then we had only one family surviving, which we are part of. Because Noah was part of Adam. So we are a family. And this is the family that survived. Nobody survived. Life continued with Noah. They gave birth, Shem, Japheth, Ham. They gave birth. I am a descendant of Ham from Africa. I am a proud African because I come from Noah. If you want to test my DNA, you will still get it in Noah. And you still get it in Adam. Nobody should cheat you that we are not brothers. We come from one person. And it is God's hands that created us. Shem, Japheth, and Ham. Noah one day was whining. Something just happened. He may have overwhined. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. He got drunk. And he was lying there. He was uncovered. Ham comes, sees his father, and he laughs and runs to the brothers and tell him, oh, go and see your father. He's drunk. He's lying naked out there. Shem and Japheth come backwards, covers the nakedness of the father, of their father. When the father regains and heard what happened, do you know he did not curse Ham? Whom did he curse? Yes, his grandson, Canaan. When they tell you that Ham was cursed, Ham wasn't cursed. Ham had other sons. So Africa is not cursed. Many people have been saying that Africa is cursed because Ham is the father of Africa. It is not true. Even if curses are there, curses are only there for up to the 4th generation. I don't want to go into that story because you know what Africa stands for. Africa is a refuge. When things were so tough, Joseph and Mary were told to run for their lives. And where they landed was in Egypt. And Egypt is in Africa.
Come on now. Tell it.
When Jesus was carrying the cross and things were so heavy on him, they found somebody known as Simon. And they told him to carry the cross. Who is that? An African. By the way, if you don't know, Mount Sinai is in Africa, at the peninsula.
Come on now.
And that is where the 10 Commandments were issued.
Tell it.
You shouldn't look down upon Africa.
That's right.
Africa is very important for all of us. As much as other continents are important, Africa is also important. The 10 Commandments were issued in Africa. Joseph was sold to Africa. I don't want to go down to those stories because I'll get carried away and talk about the Ethiopian eunuch. We are all important in the face of God. Nobody is inferior. We are all equal because we share the same father. We share the same genealogy.
That's right.
We are brothers and sisters. Come down from Shem. Al-Faxad is there. From Al-Faxad, you go down to who? Come down to Chese. David is there. You know, I just want to... Abraham. Actually, when you go down, you come to Abraham. To Terah. Then Terah is the father of who? Abraham. Another strong family. This family is told, Abraham is told, move away from your homeland. Most of you who are here moved from your homelands. Either if not you, your grandfather. If not your grandfather, somebody had moved.
Tell it. Tell it.
Some of our great were brought here as slaves through the Gold Coast in Ghana. And they suffered. Because of the devil. Abraham had of course, he had an official son. Let me say just an official son. That was Isaac. Isaac had how many sons? 2. Jacob and Esau. These guys were always fighting because they were twins. Then because of the stomach, because of hunger, Esau sold his birthright. And do you know who enticed that? The mother. Mothers are very good. We love you. But at times the devil passes through that direction. Not always, at times. And you know, this gentleman sold his birthright. That did not stop there. He had to run away for his life. He went to Laban. When he met Laban, he loved Rachel. He was not given Rachel. Probably because of what he had done. He was told, you must serve 7 more years. Then he was given Leah. Okay, he was given Leah. Then there was Rachel. But again, this is not an express way for you to marry many wives. Like in my country, it is law to marry more than one wife. It is law. You can go and marry and, still go and marry again. Polygamy is allowed in my country. Nobody will go and complain that there is this. No. But not for Christians. So this gentleman known as Jacob goes ahead and now is given who? Leah. From Leah, Rachel is here. And not that alone, he still gets children with, yes, you understand what I'm talking about. Then he ends up getting how many children? 12. 6 from who? From Leah. Reuben, Simon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun. But again, there was a Dinah. But Dinah is not really pronounced. Those are 6. Then Rachel gets Joseph and Benjamin. Biliah gets who? Dan, Naphtali. Zilpah gets who? Gad and Asher. Those are 12. On his way back, Jacob encounters a war. And he fights the whole night. And you know what he says? I will not leave you unless you do what? Yes. You think blessings just come? You must fight for the blessings.
Come on now.
If you will sit and wait for blessings to come, they will never come. You must stand and walk. You must go out and preach.
Amen. Amen.
You must do everything that is required. You must leave your wife for 2 months the way I've left my wife. And my children for 2 months. Do you know what I'm looking for? I'm struggling for blessings. He fought for blessings. And at the end of the day, he was blessed. Jacob is blessed and the name changes immediately and is known as Israel. The 12 sons, this is now a family. How does a family break? A family breaks when there is envy. Just like my 5 fingers here, they are not equal, they are not uniform. There is this gentleman known as Joseph. People love, the father loved Joseph and Benjamin. And at the end of the day, they believe, they are like, this dreamer, this guy, he was a dreamer, Joseph was a dreamer. And they say, we must kill this guy. They plan to kill him. And one of the brothers said, no, don't please do that. Let us sell him. And this was Judah. I'm just cutting the story short. Judah decides, let's sell him. The Ishmaelites who are passing through, he sold to the Ishmaelites. Yes, the Egyptians, the Africans, exactly. So this guy, Joseph, lands a better job. And when he's in his new job, he proves that he's really a son of God. And he says, I cannot do what is against my God at Potiphar's house. I was given everything in this house, but not you, nor the wife. He stands firm, an energetic, handsome man. He says, no, I cannot go against my God. God creates a scenario where there is hunger. These guys come looking for food in Egypt. A scenario is created where Joseph and the team hide something in the yes. Then Benjamin, Benjamin was the loved one. And the father, Jacob, had said, please don't go with Benjamin. And if you go with Benjamin, you must come with him. And here comes now in the bag where Benjamin's, whatever, there is something that has been hidden, a cup. And they are called back. And they are told, now you guys are not going. At the end of the day, they all find themselves in Egypt. Everybody now is in Africa, a refuge center. And they enjoy there. They live peacefully there. This is a family that we are talking about. We are all a family. Because Judah decided not to kill his brother, not to be part of the team that killed his brother, he's also blessed. And from Judah, we come down to who? To Jesse. Right. Then from Jesse we have David. From David, we have Solomon. We have Nathan. Nathan goes down. Nathan goes down to who? To Joseph. Solomon goes down to who? To Mary. And they come together and we have our Christ being born. We have our Christ being born. From the house of David. The same DNA. Same DNA. All the way down. And we are a family. If somebody tells you we are not a family, he doesn't know where he came from. He doesn't know where he's going. We are a family. Our DNA is the same from Adam all the way down to David. From David to Jesus Christ, our Savior. When Jesus comes, he changes everything now. He changes everything. That's why we are called Christians. And if you carry the term Christian, then you are a follower of Christ. And if you are in the family of Christ, Romans 3:9. Romans 3:9. Romans 3:9. Romans 3:9. Is it 9? Oh, sorry. I'm looking for the one that says there is no Jew. There is no Jew. Where is that now? So there is no Jew nor, because nobody is higher. It should be Romans. Sorry. Just Romans 3, it's not 9. Romans, let me just see. There is no Jew, there is no, Mhm.
So we have already shown that all people, whether Jews or Gentiles, are under the power of sin. As the scripture says. Is that what you're looking for?
Anyway, let me just jump that because then it will. But what we are talking about is we are all the same. There is no Jew, there is no Gentile. You found it? Huh? Galatians 3:28. Galatians 3:28. Yes. That's the one I was looking for. There is no Jew, no Greek. We are all the same. We are all the same. And I was so excited today when I saw the ladies talk. You know, there are churches where ladies are not even allowed to come here. They're not allowed to come here, you know. Men are more superior. But God created male and female on the same day, alike, from the side, and becoming an helper. What does helpmate mean? Helpmate simply means you are the worker and she helps you. But it has turned the other way around, where you find, back in my country, you'll be surprised, women are the ones who work. Men are there to be served. Men are there to be served. But let me finish by saying this. We are a family. And you know what Joshua said? Joshua 24? Joshua 24:14. What did he say? I want to read this. Yes. Exactly. This is what it says. I would want to read from 15. But if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your forefathers served beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you are living. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord.
Hallelujah.
As for me and my household, who is your household? That is the question that keeps lingering in me. Because there is a time Jesus went to Jerusalem and he was left behind. And you know, these guys came, oh, your mother and father are waiting for you out there. What did he tell them? Matthew 8. Matthew 8, I want to start with 19. Matthew 8:19. Who are these? Who are my family members? Who are my family members? It's not your blood brother. No. Matthew, are you there? Matthew 8. I was looking at that screen. It's not coming. Okay, Matthew 8. Matthew 8:19. This is what I want to read. Matthew 8:19 says like this. Then a teacher of the law came to him and said, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. Jesus replied, Foxes, is that the one I wanted, really? Luke, not Matthew 8. Luke. Both are good guys and they wrote good books. But yeah, 8. That's okay now. This is what it reads, 19. And it says, Now Jesus' mother and brothers came to see him, but they were not able to get near him because of the crowd. Someone told him, Your mother and brothers are standing outside wanting to see you. He replied, you know, that can be a very rude answer if you're not very careful. My mother and my brothers are those who hear God's word and put it into practice. Those are my brothers, and that's my mother. The ones who keep and who practice. Because you can hear and you don't practice. How many hear and they don't practice? Very many. I want to say this. If you go to verse chapter, now Matthew. Now let's go to Matthew. Let's go to Matthew. You know the problem with preachers? Never tell people that this is your last verse. Because the moment you make that mistake, you realize that there's another verse that you want to read. And you start saying the very, very last. But of course, you'll say now this is the last and the very last and the very, very last. Now, Matthew 12:50. Matthew 12:50 says this. Matthew 12:50. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother. And that is my family. Whoever who does the will of my Father, that is my family. And today, I want to tell you that we are all brothers and sisters. Amen. We come from the same genealogy. Nobody should look down upon you because of your skin color, because of your hate, because of the continent you come from, because of the weight of your pockets. The weight of my pockets means how rich you are. Nobody should look down upon you. There is only one thing that matters here. And what matters is in Revelation 14:12. What matters is in Revelation 14:12. That is my second last verse. That is my second last. I didn't say last. I said second last. 14:12 says this. This calls for patience, patient endurance on the part of saints who obey God's commandments and remain faithful to Jesus. Nothing else. You can raise your voice, you can do whatever you want to do, but at the end results, are you obeying God's commandments in the faith of Jesus? That is it. And what happens? 22 is my last. Chapter 22, verse 12. 22, verse 12. 22:12. Behold, I'm coming soon, my reward with me, and I will give to everyone according to his or to what he has done. May God bless you.